wait, that's me.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Games with BK YouTube channel. Apologizing up front for the audio quality differences. I'm recording this one kind of on the go with my cell phone, no lavalier mic, none of that. So the audio quality is a little bit different. For this video, it's going to be something a little bit different. This is going to be basically the live stream that I did for my 2027 WNBA draft class file that I worked on for NBA 2K25. The audio quality on that might be a little iffy as well because I really don't like the Turtle Beach headphones mic that I have because it kind of cut off and on at different points. But I think the audio kind of stabilized, and I'm going to do some things with the volume to make it more audible. But yeah, just keep that in mind. This is all coming off of that Twitch stream. All the audio and stuff is like in real time. All right, before we get into the actual segment from my YouTube stream, I do have to shout out a couple of people. The first being Rio West Gaming on YouTube. Now, recently, Rio West Gaming and myself, we've been communicating, I should say, with one another in the comment section in different videos. He's showed me some love on my channel. I'm always checking out his channel, so I got to shout him out. Now, the next person I got to shout out is HoodiePop22 on YouTube. Now, the wildest thing about that is I didn't even know the brother was a YouTuber until fairly recently. I would say sometime last year I became familiar with them on YouTube. But I'm familiar with the name because I've seen his stuff on 2K Share for like the NBA 2K games. And in particular, it's the WNBA content that he's uploaded. And like Rio West Gaming, me and Hoodie Pop have been kind of communicating a little bit, chopping it up in the comment section in his video. So again, shout out to Rio West Gaming and to Hoodie Pop 22, both on YouTube. They got bigger followers than me, but if you come across this video, go follow them. Now, let's go ahead and set this thing up by talking about a few things. Once again, I gotta remind everybody, this is for 2K25. I'm still holding on to that game. I might not get 2K27. I'm going to try to do a video in the future to explain my logic behind holding on to these games and the kind of things I'm doing to decide what I'm going to do. But we're going to take a look back in the past first. The TKOB 2345 draft class file for the 2025 draft is the basis for the draft class file I did last year. The one that I ended up editing a couple of times since then. That's the Paige Becker's draft class. But I also took inspiration from certain player DNAs that I saw in Hoodie Pop's draft file and Young Cobra. So I got to shout all three of those out. But TKLB 2345 was like the basis for the file that became this one, the 2025 WNBA draft version 3.0. Now, when I did that, I decided, you know what, let me try to create a draft from scratch. And that's what ended up happening with the 2026 WNBA draft class file. I started periodically dropping little videos on the channel as I progressed, with version 4.0 coming out the day after the WNBA draft, a day or two after the WNBA draft this year. And that's the draft class that includes players like Olivia Miles and Lauren Betts. Basically all that UCLA squad. Put a lot of work into it. All 150 prospect spots were filled out by me. I found a lot of resources, and I talked about them in the previous video, so I'm not going to mention them here, but a lot of resources that I used to put together that draft class file, get some of the player names, and it was a lot of work, a lot of hard work, but 2K has a pretty good draft editor, so you can get through these relatively quickly compared to, say, doing the same thing for like a Madden draft class. Despite Madden having way more draft prospects, the process itself kind of drags out. But yeah, the 2026 WNBA draft class file is in 2K Share via the draft scenario, and you can check out the videos that I put out on the channel if you want more information. And with that 2026 draft class file, I ended up working on the 2027 and later a 2028. Now, this 2027 draft class file that I'm going to open up right now is relatively over. Like, the only position that isn't completely filled out are the bigs, like the centers, and I could easily find other prospects like some of the maybe wing players, since you got a whole lot of those. I could probably turn these players into other positions. I think I got like 8 players out of that 150 that haven't been created, and they're all in 59s just to kind of distinguish who's who. And I'm going to be working on this file. As long as I hold on to this game, I'm going to be trying to work on this file with the idea and the understanding that at the end of this calendar year, at the end of 2026, the servers are going to die. The the NBA 2K25 servers end on December 31st, 2026. Uh, and that kind of complicates my plans. So I'm going to have to kind of rush everything just so I can make it available in case people wanted to hold on to 2K25. Because believe it or not, there's still people out there who are playing 2K23. I would have been one of them if I didn't have that glitch that happened. Uh, I forgot what year it was. It might have been in 2020, whenever the servers died for that. Because I had this glitch with the franchise mode and ended up moving on to 24 and then later moving on to this current game, 25. Yeah, but I'm kind of doing a whole lot of soliloquying and dialoguing and monologuing and whatever you want to call it. Let's get into the actual draft class file, and anything else comes up, I'll kind of bring that up because I don't want to make this video drag out too much. But the 2027 draft class is headlined by Juju Watkins, who would be eligible for this draft class, but also has other eligibility due to the injury that she sustained that made her miss this past WNBA, this past college season. So she could actually go back if she wasn't happy and come out in 2028. But she's kind of like far and away the number one prospect, although you see these other player ratings kind of close. She's like the lead prospect, the person that everyone expects to go number one overall. It's kind of been like ordained since freshman year, ordained since high school, even, that whenever she's coming out, she's going to be the number one pick. But let's move on position by position. If I remember, I will first go through the player looks, and then I'll come back out and let you see their overalls. I'm not gonna go through every position, like every player attribute, but I'll kind of give you like a sense. I'll spin them around a little bit, little model style. That's Kimora Johnson. I'm not gonna talk about every player, but some of them that stand out, I'll probably talk about. And hopefully this audio holds up because I want this audio to hold up. So this is Kimora Johnson from UVA, Virginia. She was in the transfer portal. She's one of the best guards in the country. There were rumors of her possibly going to South Carolina. Oddly enough, Dawn Staley, the head coach of South Carolina, was a legend at UVA. But Kimora Johnson decided to stay home. And she's a player I enjoy from this draft class. Not my favorite player in the draft class because I'm going to mention her later on, but she's up there. And I'm just going to scroll through some of the other players that you can see how some of the looks go. I might spin some of them, but I might not spin others because it's kind of like me just doing this because the other file didn't really work out. But yeah, I noticed if you follow this channel, you'll notice that I've tried to spend some time on the faces a little more. They're not perfect, but I've tried. This player, Alyssa Mevius, would have been in the 2026 file, but I think she sustained an injury and decided to come back to school. She got the Oregon Duck colorway for the Sabrinas. Sabrina's an Oregon Duck legend. This is probably a good time for me to mention that for some of these players who went to schools that produced big stars who ended up with their own shoe, I kind of just gave them the sneaker of that legend. Like Asia Wilson, you're going to see some South Carolina players with those over the past couple of draft classes. But I gave them like the South Carolina color scheme for those sneakers. All right. Let's see. Ashley Shea. Nothing really to mention except for I saw her while looking for another prospect in this draft class. Because I was looking up like video for Fatima Tall. You see her on the list right here, a Princeton player. And while watching for her, she also came up. So I kind of followed up on her. So now this is the player here. I'm going to probably spend a little extra, not extra time on Juju Watkins, but she has the silver lining LeBron James sneakers. Let's see if we could show off the other one. Because with her, I have like 3 different sneaker possibilities for her. Because I saw the LeBron James Silver Lining Juju Sneakers Player Edition, or whatever you want to call those. I think it was like on an Instagram video or something like that. She had those this year, even though she didn't play. She brought those up. The player face came from Richie 2K. I used his design off of YouTube, and the GG. Let's see what I could do to make the away sneakers show up. All right, there we go. Now we're at the away sneakers. The Juju GT Cut 3s with the USC color scheme. And there's another sneaker that I can't remember. I think it's somewhere in this line because she has like 3 sneakers that I designed for her, the colorways, but I just cannot remember. It's probably a LeBron next gen with there we go, LBJ Juju that go along with the silver linings. So 2 USC colorways plus the color scheme for the silver linings. Those are available. Those will be available whenever I finish this thing up and make it available via the scenario mode. What else we got here? This is my favorite player from the draft class. Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame, a defensive beast, a monster. So like her defensive badges, if I remember correctly, I tuned those up pretty high. She's a beast on defense. So she's like 5'6", a dynamic ball handler as well. My favorite player, East Coast player. She's from Jersey. You know, Philly might want to claim her, I guess, due to the proximity in Philly. But New Yorkers might want to claim her too. She got that big city game. But yeah, my favorite player, Hannah Hidalgo. Now she got the Kyries for the ball handling. And I don't believe I changed anything about the sneakers. I think this is the actual colorway, and it kind of just fits with the Notre Dame aesthetic. Even though Kyrie never went to Notre Dame, it just kind of works. Let's move on to another player. I'm not going to talk about her, but she plays for Maryland. I don't think she hit the portal. Check out next year. Kayla Williams, LSU player. I don't think I did anything special with the sneakers, although for some other players, I did kind of come up with an LSU colorway. Talasia Cooper now. She's interested in that. She started off at South Carolina, transferred to Tennessee, and that dumpster fire. And then one of the original versions of her that I had for the 2026 draft, just in case she left, was a Tennessee Rocky Top sneakers. But then I had to like change that plan up because she transferred away. So no more Tennessee for her. She's going to be going to Ole Miss, which is kind of like my adopted college basketball team of the moment. Little brief story. Talasia Cooper, talented as hell. But yeah, I don't have an actual rooting interest in college basketball, and I haven't had one in like 20 years. The last time I had a team that I could say I rooted for was the Rutgers squad from the early 2000s, and that was because I went to school with a person who I went to high school with a person who ended up going to and playing for Rutgers during their college years. They were a junior in high school when I was a senior, but you know, the high school ties, I had to root for them in college. And the crazy thing is, when they went to Rutgers, I ended up finding out about Cappy Pondexter, who eventually became my favorite college player, my favorite player, just in general. But now we're moving on to like Ole Miss. I kind of adopted them last year because Cody McMahon transferred there. Didn't want to root for none of the blue blood programs, but Ole Miss is probably a school that's maybe on a come up. I mean, they're good, but I mean, when I say on a come up, I mean like viable, legit threats, because they have a good coach, and Coach Yolette. They call her Coach Yo. And I'm trying to get in on the ground floor, so to speak, even though they're already a good program. If I do root for a team, I want to kind of grow with the program. As they get better, you want to follow through with them, and then if they can make it. You look at my other rooting interests. If you go to, I don't think I even mentioned that on the gaming channel, but I'm a New York Giants fan, a Syracuse Orange college football fan, a St. John's Red Storm college basketball fan, and a New York Mets fan, even though I don't follow MLB that much anymore. And I root for the Chicago Bulls and the NBA. So those are my rooting interests in the major sports. Hockey, I don't really follow too much, but I guess you can consider me a Ranger fan. But I don't follow hockey that much like that. And I'm a New York Liberty fan in the WNBA. I don't think I mentioned that. But Tessa Johnson from South Carolina, You see, she got the A1s with the South Carolina Gamecock color scheme. She's going to be one to watch out for this coming season. She really showed out and put on last year alongside Raven Johnson and Medina Okot, who were drafted. But yeah, we're going to see how she plays this year because I think did South Carolina get any transfer portal targets? They might have. I think they might have gotten a guard from Texas. So we're going to see. We'll see how Tessa Johnson performs. Malaysia Full Wiley, a former South Carolina Gamecock player. The sneaker that she has is inspired by like an actual version, a player edition that she has of the Currys. I think they call the Family because like Malaysia Wiley, so I think it's the Family version. Not exactly the same because that sneaker ain't in the game, but the colors kind of match up with the version that I saw online. Talented guard, left South Carolina. Some people feel like she shouldn't have, but went to LSU. Still talented. We're going to see what she can do coming into this final year for her. I think all of her eligibility exhausts next year. Fadima Tall from Princeton. Really liked her game when I saw her. I don't know how far she'll go, but I'm going to be looking out for her as she proceeds through this season. I might try to come up with a Princeton colorway for her sneakers, but right now those are the Sabrinas. I think those are the Sabrinas that I gave her. Yeah, the Sabrina 2s. Base version of those. All right. Grace Konchalski. I think Grochalski. She's a Minnesota player because I could tell by those sneakers. It was like the Minnesota Golden Gopher sneaker. Yeah. So I'll be looking out for her. Now, Kayleen Smichael, I think she's still at Maryland because I got the Terp sneakers on her. This is a colorway, a sneaker that I came up with. This ain't like in the game. This is a sneaker I came up with, and I did this for Cheyenne Sellers, who was in my 2025 WNBA draft class. Sad that she got cut from the wing. She has so much promise with that damn knee injury. I think kind of messed up a lot of things. She might have to take another route to get back to the WNBA. The athleticism was never really the calling card. And if you get hurt, then it takes away something and makes people feel like you're injury prone. But Kayleen Smichael, another player who got injured, this is a player I took a lot of time with the face, try to get that right, the tattoos and all that. I think I did a decent job. She got hurt, coming back for this season. Hopefully she performs well. Ashlyn Shade is one of those UConn players. Talia Scott, I forgot where she at. Is she Ole Miss? She's Baylor. All right, I worked on that face. Probably have to do a little more work. Mara Braun would have been in this 2026 draft class, I believe. Also a Golden Gopher. Probably should give her some colors like Grace. We'll move through. Donovan Hunter played alongside Olivia Miles at TCU. You see those purple sneakers, kind of TCU-esque. I didn't do anything like to change anything. I just came across a sneaker that was similar to their colors. It just worked with it. I didn't make that one. Ruby Whitehorn, another interesting player, Tennessee player, got in some trouble at that dumpster fire of a school, at least for last year. Ended up transferring out to Arizona. She's going to be a player I keep an eye out on because she's talented. She would have been in the last draft class as well. I think she had the eligibility. But she also had those Tennessee colorway, the Rocky Tops that I made. And now not anymore because I think she's going to Arizona. Look back at Layla Reynolds, spend a little time on her. You could tell with a little detail. What school does she go to? Is that Syracuse? Not Florida. Similar kind of colors. But yeah, Layla Reynolds, Florida. The sneaker colorway, I don't think I came up with. Yeah, I did. Kobe 4 Gators. And I think I did that for Liv McGill, who's going to be in the 2028 draft class. Staley Hurd from Oklahoma State. I'm hoping this audio works because I did a whole lot of talking about some of these specific players. The only downside to this game, and I guess even 2K26, is that they don't give us face masks and goggles because there are quite a few players over the past draft classes that needed goggles. And Staley Hurd is another one that would need goggles. She's an Oklahoma State player. I should come up with an Oklahoma State colorway to be real, but I ain't do it. I didn't do it yet. She's gonna get some help from Audie Crooks. Audie Crooks, who's in this draft class, coming over to Oklahoma State. Danielle Pons. I can't pronounce the last name, but she's a Lithuanian player because I gave her these sneakers that I originally designed for Matas Buzelis. These are ugly as hell, but these are the uh, Kaunas, Lithuania color scheme, like inspired by that city's flag. And I have another sneaker that I designed for Matas Buzelis with the straight up Lithuanian uh, sneakers. It's not letting me show it. There we go. It's not showing it. What happened? What happened? What happened? All right. So it shows it when I change the socks sometimes. And this is real time, so you can tell I ain't doing any fancy editing. All right, forget it. Basically, the sneakers, the colors of Lithuania. Let's see if I change this. Nothing. All right, they don't want to show the away sneakers, but basically the Lithuanian flag colors are on that away sneaker. Let's move on from her. Scroll through. I spent way too much too much time on this position. Let's move on to the small forwards. Madison Booker. Everyone calls her Baby Durant. She's a Texas Longhorn. Gave her those KDs with the Longhorn colors. I'm gonna work on this face a little more. I did try to get the face right. It ain't right to my liking. But yeah, offensively gifted, a lot of mid-range abilities. And that's why I probably should set her hot zones when I go back through and probably do a later version. Set the hot zones to like the mid-range because she's not really much of a three-point shooter right now, but talented. And I probably could stand to lower her overall rating a little bit just to give some kind of clear gap between her and Juju. But Juju coming back from an injury, so I could kind of justify it that way. Addie Brown, Oklahoma State, but I think she's transferring elsewhere. I spent some time on the face. You can tell with the freckles. Tamia Gardner, who would have been a prospect last year, she got hurt. And had she been a prospect last year, that would have been a crazy amount of UCLA Bruins in the draft. They already had a crazy amount this year. I should give her a UCLA colorway because I had some sneakers for Kiki Rice with the UCLA colorway, and I had a sneaker for Lauren Betts, I think, with the UCLA colorway. So I might change that in a later edition. Or something that honors her heritage. Tamia Gardner, moving on. So this is Zachary Risachet's little sister. Zachary Risachet, NBA player, former number one overall draft pick, but he ain't really playing all that great right now. But this is his little sister, WNBA prospect. She got the French sneakers. I designed that, the Kobe 6 France. Gave that to Nella Angloma from last draft class, the 2026 draft class. We'll move on to some more players. Try to pick up some time. Sahara Williams, I don't really know what she's going to do on the next level. She's kind of undersized as a power forward. Doesn't really have the wing abilities the shooting ability to be a true wing. She gets crazy boards in college, but she's like 5'11", solidly built. But it's hard to really know what she's going to be able to do on the next level. All right, so now we're going to have to pick up some more time on the power forwards and centers because there aren't that many centers. Power forwards led by Audie Crooks. I wish they had body morphing in this game because this is kind of the biggest you can make Audie Crooks. Her and Gracie Merkel from Penn State are players that are a little larger in terms of the body frame, and you really can't replicate that in the game. So it's the best I could do. The sneakers I got to change because she's no longer a Cyhawk. She's a member of Oklahoma State. So I'm going to have to come up with or did I come up with the Oklahoma State sneaker already? I don't think I did, but I'm going to have to probably change. I'm going to leave the Kobe Cyhawks in the game. I'm not going to take them away just in case there are other prospects, but I'm going to make an Oklahoma State inspired colorway for those same Kobe sneakers and see what I could do there. But Audie Crooks, dominant type player in college, transferred to Oklahoma State. We'll see what she does there. Got Camille Pierre, offensively gifted player, played alongside a 2028 prospect at Vanderbilt. Michaela Blake's my favorite player in that class. Went on to UNC, and not UNC, NC State. What am I talking about? Talented player though. Ashlyn Watkins coming back from injury. South Carolina player might work on that face a little more as well. I put some time into it to see if I could get something that looks decent. She has the ability to dunk. So she's one of the few players in the WNBA classes that I gave like a high, like not a high dunk rating. She's not gonna be windmilling on people and doing all kind of reverses and nothing weird, but she has like the ability to dunk in this game. Natalie Potts coming back from injury from Nebraska, considered a prospect. Chloe Kitts coming back from an injury for South Carolina. Those are the Kobe sneakers. Those are the Kobe sneakers that they showing right now. But I gave her Sabrina 1 Gamecocks. Let's go and see what they look like. We're going to do this in real time. Sabrina 1. Here we go. Now y'all can see it. So instead of the A1s, I gave her Sabrina's. Could have given her the A1s, but just wanted to diversify the variety for the school-inspired colorways a little bit. And I think for the other one, she got the Kobe 5s proto. Those are like the Sabrina color player edition, I think. We'll keep the changes. We'll move on to the rest of these players. Samaya Smith, a talented player. I think she transferred from LSU. I think she transferred from UVA to LSU recently. So I did capture that change. And she'll probably move up the ranks. Alif Istanbulu Gulu from Louisville, the Cardinal. I didn't do anything with those sneakers. I just gave her those. I remember watching her during the tournament a little bit. And Delaney Thomas, she'll probably move up the ranks too. She's a Duke prospect. I don't think I gave her any specific Duke sneakers, even though I do have Duke-inspired colorways in the game. Ayanna Patterson transferred. What is her spot now? Kentucky. She was a high, like 5-star type recruit, if I remember correctly, for UConn. Just had injuries. She's got more years of eligibility, so I'm going to keep this player DNA active and even import it into the 2028 class just in case. But hoping that she goes injury free this year. But she has like more eligibility due to that injury time. And that's the power forwards. The center is going to be real quick. And then I'm going to just kind of run through the player ratings. How much time did I spend? I spent 27 minutes, damn near a half hour. That's crazy. Did not intend for that. So I'll probably end up splitting time on the next draft class and just kind of rush through it. I didn't mean for this to be a long video at all. Probably have to put a little voiceover segment before. But yeah, kind of talking in real time. But it's Clara Strack from Kentucky, talented player, probably the best big thus far in the draft class. Now the biggest big is Zhang Zhu from China. She's like 7'3", not the fastest player, but the biggest for a fact. Essence Cody thinks she's an Alabama player. I saw her a little bit during, I think the conference tournament, the SEC conference tournament. Sierra Toomey from UNC. She got them UNC-inspired sneakers right there. Gracie Merkel, the aforementioned Gracie Merkel, can't get the body type right. But she's kind of like in the same body type as a Audie Crooks. I didn't really work on his face all that much either. I probably have to do some work on that. But she put up some good numbers at Penn State. But for the next level, I'm not sure what her ceiling is going to be or her role is going to be. Bria Cunningham from Texas. Got the Longhorn colorway for the Reebok sneakers that I came up with. I made a KD colorway for Texas and I made a Reebok colorway for Texas. Leah Del Rosario, she hasn't really lived up to the high rankings from when I was looking at her stats and everything like that. And stats don't tell the whole story, but she's a Vanderbilt player who originally started at LSU. We'll see what she can do going forward. And I think she's the last of the real prospects because these other players are just fakes. And we're going to look at basically this screen it scales from the elite prospects all the way down to like training camp invite type players at the lowest end, like the 70 overalls, the 71 overalls. Those are players that right now um, you probably would look at them as maybe training camp type players. We got 68 here too. So yeah, and that's probably due off for injury and mainly due to this being the version 1.0. We haven't seen these players play during their uh, senior years or the 2027, 2026-27 college basketball season. So we don't know how these players are going to look. So these ratings could easily change as the versions go along. And of course, there's a very good chance that if the game 2K27 impresses me, I'll buy that and I'll have to kind of do this whole process all over again. But yeah, this is the plan thus far. I'm going to save my draft class. So I made some changes. It's the 2027 WNBA draft class file. We're going to call it version 1.0 or 1. And that's going to be it for this Twitch stream. I'm going to probably do something real short, like really scan through for the 2028 class because I spent way too much time talking about these players. Or I might just do a long version and a short version. I don't know. I'll work it out. At any rate, check out the other content that I got on the channel. And next time. See you next time. Thanks for checking out this video. And if you got some time, check out some of the other content that we have on the Games with BK YouTube channel.
Wait, that's me.